Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, this is the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston. And I am here with a delightful young woman named Marcia, who has agreed to let you hear her coaching session so you could benefit from her experience and her strength and her wisdom, her trials and tribulations and stumbles. So, Marcia, how are you today?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing really well. I've been looking forward to this. So, Marcia, catch me up a little bit.
A few months back, where I was able to follow my diet to a T, and I felt so good and I felt so confident, and I was telling other people about it in some of my diet groups, and something happened. I think it was PMS, but something happened where I got so hungry one day. That was just it. I've never been able to get back. I had that binge, and I'm not going to say that I binged ever since, but I did completely go off. No, I did binge. That's the pig talking. That's going to happen a lot when I talk about this because it's strong right now. So it was just that one binge that just led me just in the downward cycle. I've tried to get back on, and I always go off. And yesterday was so telling because I had the most stressful day yesterday. And I was so self-conscious about what I looked like. And my son and I were in the Target, and I actually had a panic attack in there and started crying because I saw a few people staring at me, which that hadn't happened to me in a while. Because for a moment, I thought that I actually looked normal. Am I doing this?
You're doing perfectly. You're doing perfectly. I know it's difficult, and I wanted to ask you what kind of diet you were on. I want to give you a chance to finish.
I'm sorry. I know that I deviated so far from what I was supposed to be talking about.
Marcia, you're doing fine, and I'm sure that you'll get a lot of comments from people that said they felt so helped that you were willing to be so vulnerable. As a matter of fact, panic attacks are very common among binge eaters, and I actually just did an interview with a guy named Michael Norman who specializes in helping people with panic in an unusual way, just like I help people in an unusual way with binge eating. We're going to team up in a way to give the pig a 1-2 punch with this. So it's very apropos that you're talking about this. It's very helpful. You're doing terrific. I'll guide you all the way through it, I promise, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
What kind of diet were you on? What were your rules?
It was the ketogenic diet. So I'm diabetic. I'm probably back borderline now, but at one point my A1C went from a 12 all the way to a 5.7. And it was due to the ketogenic diet. And it's the only thing that's ever helped me with my binge eating. Anytime I eat anything with carbs, I'm fooling myself. And I think that's what happened the last time I was on my diet, is that I was trying to incorporate carbs, thinking it would be okay this time because I had everything under control. And eventually something just snapped. So the only time I really am in control of my eating is on the keto diet. Although I do still eat large portions, so that's not great, but at least I don't binge.
There's several different versions of the ketogenic diet. Is this an ultra low carb version? Is it the kind where you have a little? Okay, so you don't really have many fruits or berries or anything?
No, because all of those are triggering, and ideally I don't eat dairy either because I wouldn't eat dairy or nuts. It would be closer to a carnivore type of keto where I would incorporate maybe just some greens, but not a lot of different vegetables either. Be very strict low carb and high fat.
For what it's worth, I hear this story a lot. people able to do it for a while and then they really crave carbs and they go off. And I tend to have more success with people that have a low carb but not ultra low carb version of the diet. So I'm certainly willing to help you with the diet that you want to maintain. But I just wanted to say that for what it's worth, because I don't really understand the nutritional philosophy behind it. And I do have some concerns that so many people seem to have trouble maintaining it. So that said, we can go and try and help you to do that if that's what you want to do. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, because I do feel like carbs trigger me to overeat, but I can do a more realistic version of keto. I do think I'm making it extra strict unnecessarily.
How would you make it more realistic?
I would allow myself to have some dairy sometimes, plan out my meals instead of just kind of eating what I wanted when I wanted. I guess I would first make it a little more structured and allow myself some of the foods that I'm restricting that make it so hard to where I feel like I go off or I wind up going off, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Which foods would those be?
Splenda, which everyone keeps saying is so evil, and just some cheddar cheese here and there in my eggs for breakfast, and maybe a little blue cheese dressing on my salad for dinner, and a little ketchup on my stuff, just not too much.
Why don't we be more specific? So how would you define the diet? What is it that you can't have? What is it that you would always do? How would you define it?
I wouldn't go over 30 total carbs a day. I would still want to strictly just eat greens with my proteins. I think that that's what works best for my body. But absolutely no breads, no sugars. I would just never deviate from that plan, because when I do, I just don't feel good.
Okay, so no bread. And when you say no sugar, what do you mean by no sugar?
No cakes, cookies, anything sweet, really.
What are the sweet tastes that you would allow? Sounds like you would allow Splenda and ketchup. What other sweet tastes would you allow?
Maybe some sugar-free chocolate. When I get PMS, I like to have it, but I don't know. Sometimes that's kind of a trigger for me to eat more as well, eat that candy. So
Splenda and ketchup. And what are the sweet tastes? Any berries or anything like that, or no?
No.
Okay, so no fruit or berries. Splenda and ketchup. What other sweet tastes are okay in your diet?
Really just anything sweet. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused by sweet taste, because I can only identify, like, I didn't mean ketchup as a sweet taste. I meant that something I would have, like, when going off my diet.
So you don't want to allow ketchup in your diet, or you do?
No, I do, but I wouldn't call that a sweet taste. That's why I was a little confused when you asked about sweet taste. I'm sorry.
Because there's sugar in ketchup, that's why.
Oh, okay.
You would call that savory, but it does have some sugar in it. The only sweet taste you would allow in your diet are Splenda. Anything else?
The sugar-free chocolates.
And do you want any limitations on that, or no?
I would like a limitation on that. Yes, definitely. No more than 2 pieces at a time.
And is that 2 pieces per calendar day, 2 pieces an hour?
No, that would be 2 pieces on occasion, maybe like 1 to 2 times a month.
We don't like to leave anything ambiguous for the pig. So up to 2 pieces of sugar-free chocolate, no more than 2 times a calendar month?
If I don't want to be ambiguous, then I would rather just leave it out altogether. I'm sorry. The pig is really strong, so it's hard for me to separate the pig from what I'm really wanting, but maybe just remove it altogether.
So the only thing sweet in your diet is Splenda. What about carrots or beets?
No, I usually don't eat that.
So the only sweet taste would be Splenda.
That I would allow, yes.
Are you supposed to take a break from keto once in a while?
When I take a break, like I was saying before, it winds up being like a very long break where it's hard to get back on. As long as I stay on, I'm usually good.
Do you know anybody who's just stayed on regularly for years?
Yes, a few people in my keto Facebook page have maintained it for a very long time and gotten very healthy. A couple of women have completely transformed their bodies.
So I'll never eat anything sweet tasting again except for Splenda. What other rules do you need? No more than 30 carbs per day.
No more than 30 carbs per day, and no more than 3 meals a day. Sometimes I say 2 meals, but I feel like that's maybe me being so strict that I'll wind up eating throughout the day.
Okay. Up to 3 meals per day.
Right. And no eating in between.
How do you know when a meal begins and ends?
The portion that I give myself would be that all I'm going to eat.
So you never go back for seconds?
No. Well, I do go back for seconds, but if I want to eat abstinently, I wouldn't. I would just eat what I have on my plate.
That would be the rule. I never go back for seconds. Okay, what I have so far is I'll never eat anything sweet tasting except for Splenda again. I'll never have more than 30 grams of carbs per day. I'll never have more than 3 meals per day, and I won't eat between meals. and I'll never go back for seconds.
Right.
How does that feel? Anything else you need to eliminate? I think you said bread or flour. Do you have to have a flour rule or no?
I wouldn't eat any type of bread at all, any type of grain or rice or potatoes.
Okay. You'll never eat starches again?
Right.
So I'll never eat anything sweet except for Splenda again. I'll never have more than 30 grams of carbs per day. I'll never have more than 3 meals per day with nothing in between. I'll never go back for seconds, and I'll never eat starch again. What do you think?
I don't know. It just sounds like something's off.
So take your time. There's no rush to judgment here. What's off? What's missing?
I can't tell if I'm being too strict. I feel like I should remove the Splenda and the ketchup as well. I feel like the plan should look more cleaner. I just feel like the plan should look more cleaner than Splenda and ketchup. The only reason why I said Splenda and ketchup is because it makes it kind of easier to bear the low carb, but at the same time, I'm still taking in sugar. I don't know. I feel like I'm overthinking.
So you'd like to say that you'd never eat anything sweet tasting again?
Yes, I would.
You'll have no more than 30 carbs a day, 3 meals a day with nothing in between. You'll never go back for seconds, and you'll never eat starch again.
And I would like the 30 carbs to be leafy greens only.
So no broccoli, no other vegetables that contain leafy greens, no fruit or berries. The only carbohydrates you'll ever eat again are leafy green vegetables.
Maybe at a maximum of twice a month, I can allow myself to have some berries, some strawberries or blueberries.
Okay, I'll never eat anything sweet tasting again, except for berries 2 times per calendar month. I'll never have more than 30 grams of carbs per day. I will eat up to 3 meals per day with nothing in between. I'll never go back for seconds. I'll never eat starch again. And the only carbohydrates I'll ever eat again, except for the berries, are leafy green vegetables.
I think that sounds good.
So this really is a very low carb diet. You're basically living on meat and leafy greens.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that I don't really know whether that's a nutritionally complete diet or not. So I would want you to check it with someone who does.
Okay.
Maybe you've already done that. Maybe you've already done the reading, but it does worry me a little bit. It concerns me that you could be missing some micronutrients is the biggest concern that I have, and that would create some cravings. So I want you to tally your nutrition on Cronometer.com. I would love it if you would consult with a licensed dietitian.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to proceed under the assumption that you're going to do that, and under the assumption that they're going to come back and say, well, this is okay. This is fine. This is good for her. Okay.
Okay.
If you could do this, I know the pig says you can't, but if you could, why would that be good? What would be different in 90 days if you stayed on this completely?
I would feel a lot better. Following this diet and limiting my carbs always makes me feel better. I get a lot of energy. I can think more clearly. I'm less foggy. I'm less bloated. So in 90 days, I can only imagine that I would feel a lot happier and a lot lighter, less depressed, hopefully less anxiety as well.
So you'd be thinking more clearly, your digestion would be much cleaner, you'd feel less bloated, you'd feel a lot better, more confident, less anxious. Why are those things good? So suppose you feel less anxious and less depressed and you're thinking more clearly and you feel freer inside from your better digestion. What are you going to do differently because of that? What's different in your life because you're not depressed and anxious and you're thinking clearly and feeling less bloated?
Gosh, because that would just make life a lot less stressful, easier. And I just prefer to feel that way. I prefer to feel healthy and clear-minded.
What we want to do is paint as specific a picture as possible, because the problem is that pig slop is a very specific thing. A cookie is a very specific thing that you're giving up. I don't know what carbohydrates you go after, probably very specific ones, and you're giving those up. And so what we need is a very specific future that you're giving this up for. You're on track here. You're telling me about it. I just want to paint a clearer picture. And if this is uncomfortable, it's because I'm really going after your pig here. Your pig does not want you to see the future, does not want you to know. So what I really want to ask you, Marcia, is if things were easier and you felt so much better, what would you do? What things would you do in your life that are different than what you're doing now?
I would go out a lot more, be more social, go clothing shopping, try on clothes, not be afraid to look in the mirror, smile more, love myself more, not be disgusted with myself on a daily basis, and feeling complete, feeling sexy, feeling like a real woman. I feel like I'm just so overweight to the point where I just don't even feel like a feminine woman or beautiful at all.
You'd feel beautiful and sexy.
Yes.
And you'd hold your head high and you'd feel like a real woman.
Yes.
Where would you go shopping?
Any department store. These department stores have just such elegant looking, nice looking clothes, especially Target. I'd probably just go in there and just walk through, pick up a bunch of clothes, go into the fitting room, look at myself in the mirror, not feel bad about what I see in the mirror, not constantly avoiding the mirror, not being afraid to try on clothes.
You'd look in the mirror and smile. You'd be happy with what you saw in the mirror.
Yes. You have a way of simplifying things. Thank you.
The pig wants to say it in the negative. The pig wants to keep you focused on the negative.
Yeah, it's really strong. It's crazy how it's speaking to me.
Yeah, but I have a secret for you. You're stronger by design. It doesn't feel like it because the pig has got you beat down right now. You're stronger.
Thank you.
It's the way we're neurologically designed. Our neocortex and even the mammalian brain is much stronger than the reptilian brain. Has to be, otherwise we couldn't have a human society. That's why you don't get out of your car and kill people when they cut you off. Very, very strong desire to do that, but you don't do it because you're a human being and you're a civil part of society. You're able to do that because of the way you're wired. You can make those decisions, even though it's a very, very strong impulse. When you say that you'd be more social, who would you go out with?
Just girlfriends. I have girlfriends that constantly want me to go out with them. I always make an excuse that I just don't want to go. I haven't dated in, probably since my teen years. I should be out dating, being social, having my life. I have a 16-year-old, and I don't want to become that mother that's going to be afraid to let him go because I don't have my own life. So that's also really important to me. And I just remember another thing that's really important is that my son actually suggested that I get a gastric bypass. And he just told me he really just wants me to be healthy. He wants to have me around. He wants to be able to be active with me. And he's seen me struggle with my weight throughout the years. He's never seen me slim before. That's another reason why I really want to get control of my pig.
You want to be a good model for your son. You want him to see what you can do.
Right.
Marcia, can I talk to your pig for a little bit?
Yes.
I want to know all the reasons that your pig says you can't, shouldn't, or won't do this.
I don't know. I don't know why. I think a part of me, I went through quite a lot of, I'm so sorry.
Doing great. You're doing fantastic. I'm so proud of you. I'm right here with you.
I was in a time in my childhood where I was constantly told that I would never be anything. I would never be not a lot of really awful things. And I feel like for that reason, I just never felt good enough. I feel like a part of me actually believed that because I see it manifest in so many ways in my adult life. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry, Marcia. What you're talking about is called a toxic introject. And those two words are really important. It's an introject, meaning it's something that doesn't belong inside you. There was some cruelty in your upbringing. There was someone who was not a well person and they couldn't manage their own aggression. And they put it into you as a child, as a young child who couldn't do anything about it. It got stuck inside you. They put this inside you and it's toxic. It's not true, and it's eating away at you. It's not in the least true. It's important you remember that. Will you remember that for me? I know it might feel like a foreign concept, but will you remember that word, toxic introject?
Okay.
What your pig is saying is that because you had such a cruel person in your past and told you all this when you were too weak to do anything about it, that it's too deep inside you and that's just who you are and that's who you're always going to be. You can't possibly come out of that, right? That's what the pig is saying?
Yeah.
If there was someone else that you loved, maybe a really good girlfriend, or maybe if someone had treated your son like that, or what would you tell them?
That none of it is true. None of it is their fault. And I would just bring up every positive aspect about them and everything that's beautiful about them. Tell them that they're special. That's
what you would do. That's exactly what you would do, and that's exactly the right thing to do. You know why I'm telling you that, right?
Yes. I could do this to myself, say these things to myself.
Yeah. I want you to see what utter prairie poop your pig's thoughts are about this. Prairie poo. You wouldn't be on the phone with me trying to fix this if you were worthless and never going to amount to anything. You wouldn't have made the connection and followed up and made the appointment and showed up on time and sat here and fought through all these emotions if that was the case. That's not what someone who's worthless does. Someone who's worthless goes out and takes it on someone else. That's what they do. Why else does your pig say you can't do this?
Because I've never done it before. The only time I did do it is when I was growing up. I was bulimic for some time, and oh gosh, my nose is getting stuffed. I was bulimic for some time, and that around that time I lost all my weight, and that's really just the only time I've ever lost any weight. So I think the pig is telling me that my body's just made this way. I'm just not meant to lose any weight. I just need to deal with what I look like now and not try to change.
You should just accept it and become a happy fat person.
Right.
The only way you can possibly lose weight is to be destructive. Thank God you're not going to do that again. But Pink says that since you won't do that again, your only choice is to accept being fat.
Right. And there have been times where I have relapsed, but when I do, I immediately stop. But that's something that I don't want to relapse either.
Yeah, you just need to cut that out entirely. Legally, I'm required to tell you you're supposed to have a licensed therapist in the area and a treatment team and all that. The best results that I get personally are when people just cut it out.
Right.
That's the best results I see personally. What else does your pig say? Why can't you do this?
I can't think of anything specific except that I just, the main one is that I've never done it. I've never been able to.
Marcia, is it true that if you've not done something before that it can't be done?
No.
How come? How do you know?
I mean, if that's the case, then there have been plenty of times where things have happened that have never happened before. I don't know. I think I'm confusing myself with the question just because it is that way. There's always people that have done first before, if that makes sense.
Yeah. There's always the first person in a family to go to college. There's always the first time that you walk. There's the first time that you learn to speak. There's the first time that you learn a new job. It's the first time that you make a baby. There's all kinds of firsts.
Right.
Marcia, how confident are you that you're not going to binge? How confident are you, let's say, for 90 days?
I'm very, very confident that I can stop binging for 90 days. At least is how I feel right now.
Well, see, your pig just took your confidence away.
Oh, wow.
You said, I'm very, very confident. Your pig said, well, that's how you feel now, but later I'm going to get you. The way we deal with that is we tell the pig to shut up because it doesn't have a time machine. And the only time that you can eat is now. So if you're confident now and the future is an infinite string of nows, then you can always be confident. All you have to do is be confident now. That's more than good enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect sense.
I want to tell you something else, Marcia. There's no point during this interview in which you've been confused. There's nothing wrong with your brain from what I can tell. Your anxiety doesn't interfere with your thinking to the extent that it would stop you from understanding or functioning. In fact, I don't think it interfered with your thinking at all. I think you had some really powerful feelings in the interview. There's nothing I can see that you were really confused about. Your pig kept on telling you were confused because it doesn't want you to have that confidence.
Yeah, you're right. Can't believe how strong. I knew it was strong, but it's, wow, I just can't believe how it just kept coming up.
It's flexing its muscles and it's puffing out its chest and it's making a last desperate attempt to make you believe that you should be frightened of it, that you can't control it because it doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to live in a cage forever. I don't blame it, but it's not responsible enough to be let out. It's got to live in a cage.
Right.
Marcia, could you say that you were 100% confident that you're not going to binge for 90 days? If I wanted to bet $1,000 on it, would I win?
Yes, for sure.
Even if your pig has other ideas?
I don't care.
Atta girl. That's how you do it. You tell yourself that these feelings will come up, but all the doubt and uncertainty, that's just the pig bothering you. It doesn't want to live in the cage. It's too bad for the pig. How do you feel? What do you think?
I'm just shocked at how much control the pig actually had. Wow. The realization is strong. It's really strong. And for me to cry like that, I know that there had to be some sort of breakthrough. And I feel really happy about that awareness and the ability to be able to call it out and recognize its voice, because the voice is so clear. It's just plain negative.
You would not talk that way to anybody else you loved.
Exactly. That's what makes it so easy to distinguish the pig voice.
Marcia, what are you going to eat today?
I'm actually not hungry right now, but later in the day, I think I'm going to have myself a salad and and a piece of chicken breast that I have in the refrigerator, maybe some tea.
What about for dinner tonight?
Probably the same. I have also some steak in the fridge too, so I may have a small piece of steak.
And do you have enough groceries for tomorrow?
Yes. Just all in the freezer.
Would it help you to sketch out the day before you go to sleep tonight, or do you not need to do that?
I think I would need to do that.
Okay. Will you do that for me?
Yes, I will.
Do you have any questions or concerns?
I do have a question about when my day gets really, really bad, like the day I had yesterday, and then I ended that night with a binge. How did the pig play a role? Is it that it just talked me down because I had gone through so much that day that it was able to talk me down?
Sounds like that's part of it. Sounds like part of your dynamic is the pig tells you that you're worthless and you're never going to be thin and nobody in your family is thin and there's no way to change this and you might as well just be a happy fat person.
Yeah.
And then the hidden part of that is yippee. The pig is going, yippee, yippee, yippee. Let's do that.
Right.
The other piece of it is that if you can make some food decisions in the morning, and if you know you're going to have a stressful day, then plan out a little more food. You can even have some Tupperware all set up with dinner waiting for you when you get home or in the car. I guess it's a little hard in the car if it's too warm out with the kind of things you eat. But you can make your decisions in the morning before your willpower is worn down. You can try to take 5 or 10 minutes a couple of times during the day, get away from everyone and just breathe. Turn off your phone, get away from the computer. Don't allow any type of input or decision requests. Just breathe for a few minutes. That'll help you by the time you get to the evening.
Okay.
Would you consider doing a follow-up interview in about 6 weeks?
Sure.
Okay. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Really, Marcia, I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Remember to tell yourself that you're beautiful and worthwhile and that your pig has had it. You've had enough of the pig.
I will. I definitely will.
Okay, dear. I'm going to run then. It was nice to talk to you. I think you did great. I think you're going to do great.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit DefeatYourCravingsCoaching.com. That's DefeatYourCravingsCoaching.com. Thanks.